I just got it and then told her afterwards. The worst decision ever. I'm 18. Good thing to do with your piercings. So it was just a nightmare. Hey guys, so today I want to talk about the story of my piercings. A lot of people don't expect that I actually have more than 2 piercings on my ears. Maybe it just doesn't fit with the vibe that I give people, I don't know. And I don't have a lot compared to some of my friends, but I do have a few more than a lot of people expect. So I just wanted to share kind of my piercing story. I have fails and successes, some advice that piercers gave me that I thought I would share with you guys because it's something that I really appreciated. Let me just show you how many piercings I have. So I have 3 on the left side. I have the basic lobe, and then the second lobe, and then I also have a conch piercing. And then on my right side I have again the basic lobe and then a double helix on kind of the middle portion of my ear. My first piercings were the basic lobes. My mom is a germphobe and my family is pretty conservative with these kinds of things, so I didn't get to get pierced until I was maybe 6th grade because my mom thought that I wasn't able to clean and be sanitary with my piercings. But then I begged her because that was around the time when every one of my friends started getting pierced. It's just something that you feel like you're left out because you don't have pierced ears. Begged her and I got them from Isabella, which a lot of Hong Kong girls do get their first piercings at Isabella. So they used guns and it was just a very basic pierce. I don't even remember it anymore. My first piercings were not that eventful. For some reason back then they gave me like the cleaning solutions and then told me to put a few drops on and then turn the earring. But later on I've heard that that's not a good thing to do with your piercings. I'll get to that later. And my second one on the left side, actually my mom told me to go get it. I know, yeah. Initially, I wanted to get double lobes on both my ears, but she thought that it was cooler to just get one and have it asymmetrical, and she would not let me get both. She would only let me get a single one, which is weird to me back then, but I'm really happy that she actually insisted on it because I really like how it turned out and I like how asymmetrical it is. I don't really remember when I got it, probably sometime in middle school. I don't think I had any problems with that one. Lobes are pretty easy and they're like very stress-free, so if you haven't had lobes pierced, they're the least to worry about out of all the piercings. And then I thought I was done with ear piercings. Like I didn't think I would do piercings on the cartilage. My image didn't really and also doesn't really match with the amount of piercings that I have anyways. And then during college, I'm 18, I decided to get a double helix. In hindsight, that was like the worst decision ever. I had no idea what it meant to get 2 cartilage piercings so close to each other. I did go to a pretty popular piercing shop in London. I trusted it because of all the good reviews and everyone goes there, so I thought I might as well get my cartilage pierced. I didn't even ask my mom if I could get it. I just got it and then told her afterwards. The shop in London used barbell earrings, so it's the ones with the double balls on the side and then a rod in the middle. They gave me basic cleaning instructions and I had them on the top, I guess, where most people get their helices, where most people get their helices pierced. At first I was like very excited about it. I got a double pierce and then it was just a disaster trying to get it to heal. It caught on everything. It was so hard to change in and out of t-shirts because it just caught. My hair got caught in it all the time and it was just a nightmare. It didn't heal fully even after a year, and I think I also developed like a keloid at some point. It went away thankfully, but it would just always start bleeding if I hit it on something, if I tug on it, if someone hugs me too forcefully and I hit my ear. So it was just a nightmare. At some point it was actually moving, like instead of it being like 90 degrees through my cartilage, it like slightly angled because of gravity, and I didn't know like what was supposed to happen. I just thought that maybe it's something that I was doing wrong, maybe it's because it wasn't healing well, that this just it was getting to a point where the angle of the piercing was not nice anymore, like it didn't look good anymore, plus it wasn't healing. So I just took them out and let them close off by itself, and I just thought maybe in the future if I wanted them again I would go back and get some. Back then I didn't know they were actually better options until I spent some time in New York, and I just kind of out of the whim wanted a conch piercing. And I know it's very painful. Conch is definitely not as common, especially in my social circle, but I was like researching a lot, and obviously the position where you get pierced really depends on how your ear shape is. Because I have very thin cartilage, I wouldn't be able to get a lot of helices. I don't think a third lobe would look good. Like, I just don't have the space for it. So it really depends on your ear shape and how your cartilage is built. I, on a whim, went with a friend to go get my conch pierced, and I love this shop, New York Adorned. They are just the best. My piercer is Taylor. She made me feel so comfortable. I was so nervous about it. So they helped me pick out a earring. It's probably the most expensive earring that I've ever spent money on, but I love it, and I figured that I wouldn't change it up that much, especially the conch, and it's just gonna stay there for a good couple of years. So I justified spending that much money on it. I got this really pretty flower medallion rose gold earring with diamonds on it. It was actually a more scary experience for my friend who went with me than it was for me, because I couldn't see what she was doing most of the time. I love that store. They're super informative, super helpful. One time I was back in Hong Kong and I lost my backing, and I emailed them like crying for help because I didn't want the hole to close, but I didn't know where to get backing. So they recommended me some places in Hong Kong I could get fitted for backings. At New York Adorned, I actually realized the importance of sizing down on your earrings, especially for the cartilage. The reason why my double helixes tilted was because the earring needle was way too long, and so it went with gravity and tilted instead of a very snug fit where it would just stay close to your cartilage. For my conch, I think I went back to size down once or twice. So you do want it to accommodate for the swelling for the first month, and then you size down when the swelling goes down and when it goes back to your normal kind of cartilage thickness. That was actually when I found out. She told me that I have thin cartilage. It would be a little more difficult for the earring to get supported. That's why she needed a bigger disc for the backing, and just told me a lot of really nice recommendations to alleviate some of the soreness that I get, especially when I accidentally sleep on it. Never to twist the earring. Saline was better than alcohol and all of that. So really happy with the service I got from New York Adorned. A year after my conch piercing, I decided to go back for my double helix. I went to Taylor again and I told her the whole story about my failed double helices. She was like, oh yeah, it happens, like let me fix it and make it pretty for you again. So when I went to the London store, my inspo picture was double helices on the middle part, not the upper part where most people get it. But then they told me that because of my ear shape, it's not great to put it so low, so they decided to put it upwards where normal people get their helices. Naive me just thought, sure, like you're the professional, of course I'll listen to you, but that was not a good decision. I think I gave the same picture or a similar picture to Taylor at New York Adorned. Didn't say that my ear was not able to accommodate for it. She just told me because they're so close together, it will take longer for it to heal, but also she needs to really customize the size of the backings so that my ear can support the two earrings on there. These actually gave me a harder time than my conch because they're more kind of peripheral, and again, they're close together, so it did take a little longer for it to actually heal, but it's been 2.5 years since I got them and they're completely fine now. I'm super happy with these two. I love them. I can sleep on them without them complaining. So I cannot stress the importance of going to the right piercer and going to the friendly one. I don't think I'll ever go back to that piercing shop in London, even though it's pretty popular, and I have friends who've been there and loved it and they revisit that piercers. I love New York Adorned, and they are just the best at making you feel comfortable and really understanding what you wanted. Their jewelry prices are a bit high, but the quality is amazing. They also give you really quality service. That's why I went back again. So after my double helices, I actually thought about getting a rook and also a flat, but I think I'm gonna stop there. So that is my piercing story and all the successes and failures that I've went through with piercing my ears, and I'm happy with them now. I hope this video was helpful for those of you who are thinking of getting pierced. I am no expert in getting pierced, and also I know I have very few piercings compared to a lot of people who probably has more credentials to talk about piercings to you. I just wanted to share my story so that you don't make the same mistakes that I did, and also it was a fun video for me to do because not a lot of people know that I have this many piercings, and they don't show because I always let my hair down. It's always a surprise when people do notice that I have more than the basic piercings. I hope you enjoy this, and I'll see you next time. Bye!